Yes.
you looked very smart in your Sunday best when you suddenly came up on screen.
It's been out celebrating 40th birthday for Sandra's youngest daughter.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so there's a few things. And then I met up with some friends and they just booked on the one of the
Right.
cruise ships.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I'll go over that. That's one of the new ones. They're built for Virgin. So Richard Branson's new ship out there, the something lady, one of the lady class ones.
Right. I froze for a second. I'll look forward to hearing what you said on the recording, Ted.
Okay. Well, what we've done is we've just booked a trip to go out on the one of the cruise ships from Virgin.
Yeah.
So that should be very interesting. I said so. It's the one of the lady boats, the new ones.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. It's the from Athens through to Dubai next year, October. So looking forward to catching up on that new ship.
Isn't that the one? Isn't that one of the ones that the Colonel was supposed to go on, and it got cancelled because of COVID?
I think
so. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Hello,
Yeah.
Pete. How are you?
Hi, Ted. Very good. Very good to see you. Where's the new ship sailing out of? Sydney.
They start cruising on the 21st of April again. That's the first time we're going to see cruise ships in Sydney again. The one I've been talking about, that one's actually leaving from Athens and going round to Dubai, 14 days. So it's a flight for me. I fly out to Athens, we join the ship, and then we get off in Dubai and fly back from Dubai back to Sydney.
And it goes to Athens, did you say?
Well, it leaves from Athens, yeah. Athens, Santorini, Rhodes, then Port Said, through the Suez Canal down to Saffron, and then Dubai. 14 days all up cruise. So, a few days at sea out of it, but quite a few ports. It's overnight in Port Said. So
Did you say Safaga it goes to? Ted?
Yeah, the one of those Egyptian little townships. I got to go and look up for that. I'm not
It's,
familiar with that.
I went there on Sea Princess to do the tour of the Valley of the Kings.
Yeah, that's what we planned.
It's about two and a half to 3 hour coach trip, if I remember rightly. But it's well worth doing because we did Karnak when we arrived, then had lunch, and then got the ferry across the Nile to the Valley of the Kings. Went in Tutankhamun's tomb and all that sort of thing.
Oh, that's Stephen. Right, there we go.
Yeah, well worth doing.
Steve's just coming in. I was just going to send him a message, literally just going to send him a message then. There's our CBD looking very smart as well.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good
Morning, Steve. Right, we'll just get you up there as CBD.
Hello,
CBD.
Ted. Ed's from down under. Morning, evening, good day.
Yeah. It's all down. Now we've done it. So we had a lot of activity. I said, I think I told you last time. I said my daughter had a little baby boy at the beginning of February, 2nd of the 2nd, 22, all the twos.
Oh yeah.
He's doing really well. My youngest daughter got married a week ago, or it's nearly 2 weeks ago now, at the Sunday, the 6th of March, down in Canberra. It was a really nice function. And then Sandra's youngest daughter also had a baby boy on the 25th of February. So it's all happening.
Wow. Oh, that's great. Oh, extra members of the family all of a sudden within weeks.
Oh, there is lots of them. I said, and our little furry friend who joined us as well, little Bobby. He is a cavoodle, He's asleep at the moment, so otherwise he'd be up here in my little office and coming in. I'll go and he'll probably come around shortly and say, "What's going on?" So I'll show,
yeah.
when he does pop his head through the door, I'll show you. He looks lovely. He's 14 weeks old, so he gets his third injection tomorrow. I'll take him around the vet, so he'll be then good to go meet other dogs, go anywhere, anytime. So he's fully vaccinated, microchipped, all the things that you do for the little furry friends.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh no, we watch a lot of the dog programs on the ship on a Sunday and during the week as well. We've got other ones that come on, and some of the bloody the mixtures, because you say you've got a cavapoodle.
Yeah, well, Cavoodle is a cross between a King Charles Cavalier and a white poodle, so he's got the eyebrows of the King Charles Cavalier in his ears, but then he's got basically white with a couple of black blotches on it. So yeah, nice little dog. He's toilet trained to a large extent, so we haven't had any accidents recently, and he's just lovely. That you remind me that Dog Whisperer program. I learned a fair bit out of him. How to sort of train your dogs using rewards and praise when he does the right thing. So yeah,
of course. Morning and evening, Martin. Oh, it's just getting Martin. Good to see you.
G'day, Dave. How you going?
Very well. And you can see Ted's in. There is an apology from our cameraman. the editor. Colonel's been on, but he had a calling for the duvet, so he's gone back down under the duvet, boys. All right, just to
well, they're called pikers over here.
I've just got a message from Macca, an apology. One of his motors is packed up or something, so he's got 3 back-to-back runs to the airport, so he's not going to be able to get in. He must have known you were coming, Doris.
Well, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
This is your chance to tell all the stories, Martin, and there won't be any problem.
Oh dear, I don't think we've got it long enough, Dave. It'd have to be a 3-hour job, this.
It's all right. Colonel's paying for the recording session, so no problem.
Oh, that was a good photo of you, by the way, the other day I saw on Facebook with Dave Hartwell.
Oh God, yes, yeah. No, a friend of mine sent it through. He showed it to me. Yeah, it actually said it was the Arcadia, wasn't it? But it was.
Well, you're in yellow jackets, restaurant jackets.
It was the Canberra, and it was Dave Hartwell, yes, and myself, and then there was the guy that took it. He was the one who said he was photo bombing in the back, in the middle.
Right.
I remember him as Rex, but that certainly wasn't the name on the thing, but. Yeah, it was a good one. And the lad on the right was the Scotsman, and he had a tattoo every time we went into port. He had all sorts all over his. Well, I say all over his bodies. The parts of the bodies that I saw anyway. I don't know wherever else.
Okay, well, we don't want to go any further on that.
We don't. Absolutely. This one about Ludo, I forget that one. I didn't want to see that one. So
the shelf was Ralph Hurren.
That was well done. Well, I was thinking of that.
Yeah, he was second chef at one time, and I've got a feeling he might have gone chef, but after we'd gone, I think he might have been.
Yeah, I recognised his face, Dave.
Yeah, back on the Canberra, I think he was. I think he went up to chef.
He did, and funny, I did sail with him a lot more in later years on the Townsend Torres and then P&O ferries. With Ralph, for a long time.
Don't mention that word.
I'm going to say,
we nearly got away with it, didn't we?
Yes, we've got
to. Yes.
We have to in the room, David.
God, that's Oh, I'll get Colonel to edit that out. All right, we're not having that.
Well, there's a big elephant in the room, mate.
Yes. Hang on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so but I am it.
The first
Go on.
story, the
Oh.
first story we heard on, when was it, Wednesday, when the news broke, was that the ferries were all being called into port around Britain, and they were going off to the Black Sea to bring the refugees back to Blighty.
Yeah, well, that was plausible,
Really
wasn't it?
strange.
They're called the new crew.
Yeah.
But well, only on that one thing. They can't. Obviously, they said that they had crew awaiting to come straight on. But Ted, you'll know that more than any of us. But you're going to have the ship certificated again. But they've got to go through the MCA, doing all the boat drills and all the rest of it before they can set sail again with new crew.
Yeah, if it's registered in the UK, if they change the registration to another port, like as in Europe somewhere, France or Netherlands or whatever it is, then it'll be their certification authority. MCA only looks after British ships.
Yeah, they're all registered in Cyprus, the
Yeah,
P&O.
so it depends on where they want to register it. If they're taking all the crew off, my guess is that they're also going to change the registration, which is a question of, basically changing the home port, if you like, for want of a better word, because they'll have a lot of argument otherwise how a British ship or with a British registration, British home port, is not carrying any British crew on there. So my guess is that's the next move they're going to make is re-register them. Either in Cyprus or somewhere else,
They're already registered in Cyprus, Ted.
Is it?
They're already registered in Limassol, yeah.
Yeah, well, then they can do that anyway. If it's registered in Cyprus, it's an international registry, flag of convenience. They basically don't have to confirm. But if it was a British, originally the ferries were British registered. That's why my comment. If they had been British registered, they would have been required to carry British crews. As a flag of convenience, they carry whatever they put money to. So there are plenty of Ukrainians out of work. So I guess they'll probably man up the ferries.
Yeah, got it. Now going back down to you two boys down under. How's that? Is it still raining, or is that sort of gone by? But you're still suffering with the floodings.
No, we've had 3 beautiful days of sunshine, and we've got another day tomorrow. So everything else has been forgotten now, and obviously all the people up north and Queensland who've been suffering for the last month or so. It's not a news item anymore, unfortunately. Right. So.
And that tunnel with the M5 tunnel, I saw the video. Was it from Macca?
Yeah, I saw that too, but it didn't get much coverage on the news. So, yeah, it was probably just a short-term thing. But
it was everywhere.
The devastation. It's been terrible, hasn't it, Ted?
Yeah, well, that same day I came back from Canberra, and on the same motorway, M5, but not in the tunnel, a bit further back, up near Padstow exit, I drove through 12 inches of water with a hire car because there's some dill in Canberra stopped in a no stopping zone and opened the rear driver's side door and took out my wing mirror and damaged the door and everything on my car. So, and then I found out he was uninsured. And I took a photograph of his driver's license and realized his driver's license expired about 3 weeks ago. So,
God.
So I said, well, go talk to my insurance company. It's not worth me having asked, because he'd said, "Oh, do I have an offer for you? I've got this mate in Marrickville that will repair your car, no problems, and give you a loan car." So I said, talk to my insurance company. I'm not in the game to go and do any private deals. I said, "You're lucky I didn't even report you to the police." He said, "They would have ruined your day. Uninsured with an expired driving license." They said, "You would have been locked up." I said, "So just take your lucky stars and, deal with my insurance company." That's it. I said, "They'll fix it."
Yeah, yeah.
So I just come down from Port Macquarie, which is halfway up the coast, and it's not too bad up there. The ground's waterlogged, it's sodden, but there's no flooding. There's evidence of minor flooding around the Hastings River there. Further north, those people are still suffering about, cleaning up and suffering about it. That's up at Lismore. It's even further north, south of the Queensland border, but well north in New South Wales. And up there, it's pretty bad. So I was just speaking to somebody today that wants to that's got some items that might be useful up there, wants to get them up. And I said, well, contact the Red Cross, who have got the distribution centre going, or the Salvation Army. They're both organizations that are looking after people. But the insurance companies are now recommending those places that are, virtually destroyed and everything, they buy them up in a sense and relocate the people to higher areas within the same area, so same township, just a not so often floodable area, rather than replacing the house, which is useless anyway. So they build another house and they only to get flooded out again
you just can't insure yourself.
Years down the track.
Terrible.
So they're actually talking about having just demolishing these houses and building new ones elsewhere in place of replacing the house that's destroyed by the flood. Get the picture?
Yeah.
I've had a message through, well, I think we all got a message through from Bobo saying he's sorry he can't join us today, but thinking of you all. But obviously he's not well at the moment, is he? It's sadly he's got the COVID, and it was obviously bad enough because he had to go into hospital initially. But he's back home, hopefully recuperating, because we need his tour travels, specials. We need him out on the road again.
Yeah. Well, he's been out of Australia 2 years. As soon as he gets back, you welcome him back with COVID. Nice guys.
Yeah. Talking about travelling on the roads, obviously we're thinking of Taffy today. Sadly, I don't know if he'll be coming in on the crew bar today, or if he's still in self-isolation, or is that commiseration after the Italians have been so patient for so long, and to let them win on your own turf was very generous of Taffy, I thought.
Oh yeah.
It was a good game. It was a good game. I don't know if you boys saw any of it.
I saw a bit of the highlights of it. Yeah, it did look a good game.
To win it on that the last minute with a try and a conversion, that was absolutely. I don't know how many tries have they scored over the six years. Not that many, I would have thought.
Yeah. It was quite the scoreline sort of made it sound very exciting for both sides.
Yes,
like you say.
It was. Yes.
Yeah.
Boy.
But Dave, we've got a big game happening overnight.
Come and say hello to the Here you go.
Oh, hello.
Oh, here's the new man, another new member of the family.
Look, who's there? Go and say hello.
Wow. So now this one's only 14 weeks old, you say, Ted?
Here he is in full bloom. So as you can see, a little bit of King Charles features, and then white with a black patch around the tail end. So he's lovely little dog. He likes chewing at the moment because he's got his young teeth in there and is having a go at everything that's possible. But that's what they do.
Yeah.
So all the shoes are up high on the rack, so he doesn't choose with the leather. But he comes around. Once he wakes up, he comes looking around and goes and searches everywhere. So there you go. Say hello, Bobby. Bye-bye now. Off you go.
Okay, Martin, about a big game.
Yeah, the big game tonight, Nottingham Forest, Liverpool.
Oh yeah, yes.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
very good.
I don't.
Palace v Everton.
Sorry?
There's Palace v Everton is the big game around here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Is that
But
playing? Is that playing
there's
today as
there's a
well?
bit of but there's a bit of sentiment in this game because it's a long time since Forest have played Liverpool.
Yeah, in that
And I think the last
semi-final.
time was the Hillsborough disaster.
Yeah.
In a cup tie. So
Really?
there's
That-
apparently they've allowed 97 seats to be unseated for the game, which is a nice touch, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's at Forest, isn't it?
Yeah, it's at the City Ground. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that there'll be more than 97 seats left empty there then.
Ooh.
Oh, Dave.
Only joking. It was a full house when Bristol City played there the other week, but that wasn't because it was
Yeah,
such a,
well, you would have been lucky to have 97 supporters come there.
I think the ones that did regretted coming.
No, they've been playing really well. They've,
Yeah.
I think I'm not expecting them to knock Liverpool off and go any further, but it's been a good run. And obviously, if they do upset them, and they've still got Manchester City to beat as well.
Yeah.
So I would just be happy if they make a good account of themselves and can make the playoffs, which it looks like they probably will do at this stage.
Yeah, they should do now. I think they're in a good position. Good position. Dave, what comment have you got to mention on that part of the football, Fruity?
Not a lot.
We're going to make you sports editor, Fruity.
Yes. Yeah. You're going to become the sports editor.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The sports what?
Editor.
Fruity's going to be the sports editor.
I'll have to get my book of netball out then.
No. What it means is everything we talk about sports, you'll just edit it out.
You're frozen now. Oh, you're back.
Anyway.
Yeah, so Dave, Fruity, Ray Pritchard's not happy at the moment.
No, I know. I was talking to Bacon yesterday, and he said he'd spoken to him.
Yeah, well, his
but
son
he was
Carl,
already.
his
Yeah,
his
he
son
was already at
Carl's on there
home
as
though.
well.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
already at home.
Yeah.
What he said to Alan was he thinks, with the redundancy package, you'll be able to pay his mortgage off, get that sorted.
Yeah.
And then just try and get like a job driving or something, a few days a week, 3 days a week or something.
Yeah.
I mean, Bev still works, but I don't think she works full time anymore.
Yeah.
At the hospital.
Yeah.
But actually, we were talking out. How old's Fatty?
He's the same
60?
age as me. We went to school together.
Yeah. What is he? 60?
I'm 61. We're 62 in May. I'll be. I think he'll be 62 a bit later on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But he shouldn't have to worry about money at his age.
Well, no.
You can retire whenever you like. I retired 5 years ago, but I just do a little bit here and there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well,
what sort of
hopefully
lifestyle you want to live,
Yeah. I'm supposed to be going down to Alan's in August, beginning of August for a week for the Friends in Cricket Week. And normally Fatty normally is down at the cricket club. So I'll probably see him.
I hope to be over there
already
probably next
arranging
year.
sports cricket. Hey?
Yeah. It's a bit sociable, that, Steve.
Sociable.
Yeah.
So, Dave, will you be doing a bit of coverage for the Crew Bar down there at the Cricket Week?
No.
No.
I won't tell Colonel that.
No, because the expectations will be all there.
I know. Be breaking. It'll be breaking.
Oh,
No,
while we're on the subject of meeting people, the reunion in Southampton, Ruty.
Yeah.
Do you know a pub called the Grapes?
No.
Isn't it right down on the down at the front where the old Union Castle?
Oh, is it in Oxford Street?
I'm not sure. It looks like I may be staying there.
Well,
Right.
make sure it still exists.
It does. I've seen it on the Grapes Inn. It's called the Grapes Inn.
Has it got an address, Dave?
I've not got an address for it. No, I've just got it written down.
No, I got a feeling it might be Oxford Street.
Yeah, it's not too far from.
It is. I've just googled it. It is.
We've got an Oxford Street in Sydney as well.
Yeah, I looked at where you're staying, and they wanted nearly £200 for 2 nights.
This looks like this could be Taffy coming in. It's got Alan.
Yeah, we're staying in the Travel Lodge Central, which is in Castle Street.
Yeah, they wanted nearly 200 quid for 2 nights. They wanted.
Yeah, we're almost opposite the Juniper Berry. You just cross the road and up a little thing, and you're there.
Yeah.
And if you come out the hotel and turn right.
What month's that, Dave? What month is the reunion?
May.
It's P&O Pensioners Lunch.
Okay.
Annual lunch.
Morning, Taffy.
Not speaking.
No, he's not.
Buongiorno, Taffy.
We love you, Taffy, because it was a great game.
I tell you, it's unusual. I never got excited once in the game, and it was very flat. I just felt it was very flat, but when that boy scored that try in the last minute, I had a big fucking smile on my face. I thought, well done. Because I love rugby, same as you guys love soccer. But the difference between soccer is you won't get a third division team beating Man United or your Liverpools. But the thing is with rugby, anything is possible. And I had a big smile and I thought, well done, you fuckers. I was over the disappointment straight away.
Yeah.
And of course, hopefully something good will come out of it. They'll get themselves sorted out.
Yeah.
But next year we got the World Cup.
Definitely. Yeah, France were just doing the warm-up act.
Oh yeah, they're going to be fabulous, obviously. France is going to be a wonderful tournament because whenever you go to the World Cup, you think of New Zealand really and Australia occasionally when they're really in form. But now we're going to be in with a shout, the Northern Hemisphere. And I mean, there's nothing between, any team can win out of our top 5. Team, they can all beat each other. So, and I've already got it planned. I'm looking and getting the TAF Mobile ready. I'm going to be down in France for that, for the World Cup next year. And Wales are playing their group stage matches down in southern France. So that'll suit me as well. Lovely.
Well, you're familiar with the territory.
Yeah, and I already watched the last World Cup that was in France. I stayed in Paris for 3 weeks. I had a little red Mercedes motorhome then.
Yeah, we saw that, didn't we?
It was unbelievable. Do you know what? Because of course, I don't know, I got to think now because of all the LEZs and everything. Nothing's easy now to do. But I was parked that little red camper van up right on the River Seine in the Bois, I think it's, what's they call it? The Bois de Boulogne. Which I could see the Eiffel Tower and I could cycle on my, I had a mountain bike then, and I could cycle to the Eiffel Tower or anywhere from where I was. It was bloody fantastic. And France, I don't know who went out to France lately, but it's an amazing place, Paris. It really is. Out of all the cities in the world, Paris is unbelievably interesting to wander around. I mean, if you go around in the evening, all their monuments, they're all painted in gold leaf, and it's immaculate. The place is really for a city compared to what we see in Rome and in London. and in Cardiff as well. But as far as
you wouldn't get gold leaf in Manchester.
No,
it'd be gone in a week.
No, it's I'm gonna get rid of that fitter. That's Rob Womersley. I don't know if you noticed it last week. Old Rob, Blackpool Bob.
Yeah.
Can you see him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's when he was a young guy, when he was leading me astray.
Well, Blackpool Bob. Hopefully, I mean, we might well see him tonight on the crew bar. Fingers crossed. But Taffy, the red Mercedes mobile home you had. I'll see if I know I've got a picture from when we met up in France at MQ's. The ship's gathering. How long ago was that, Steve?
2013.
2013. Was it 2013?
It was April, I think, April 2013. Because when I was driving home from that, what a wonderful week we had down there. Unbelievable. Hats off to Mini Queen. Yeah, and I was even thinking of, on my travels through Europe, I was even thinking of trying to get in touch with him and sort of clearing the air with him, because I'd love to see him in the crew bar.
Yeah.
And yes, I think if I tried to manage to get in touch with him and cleared the air, I'm quite sure that he loves his social life. I'm sure he'd join the crew bar.
Of course.
So
now, going back to Martin, I've just seen the picture of your cover drive Cabernet Sauvignon with Jim Barry. Very impressed. Now, what's the story with that? This is a bottle of wine, by the way. We'll get it on the crew bar with Colonel.
Yeah. No, it's just the wine of the day today. I always have a glass of wine every day, and that's the wine that I'm drinking right at this moment. Sure, Macca would be familiar with it.
Sure.
And I've tried a bottle or two of it. It's
well,
it's
looks
sort of
very,
the bog
nice.
standard $20 bottle, the 10 quid bottle, but it's very nice.
Very good.
Now, Jim Barry, was that what's that name relevant?
I don't think, I'm not sure what the significance with the name is, whether or not he was a cricketer or just a winemaker.
Yeah.
But the actual label's quite impressive, and as I say, the wine's not too bad either.
No. I'll get Colonel to put it up in the crew bar. He might have gone back to bed, but I'm going to send him a lot of work to do. All right, he's not getting away with it.
I see you guys with all these photos in the background. I'd just like to know how you do it. I don't know. Why do you do that?
Are you on a phone though?
No, I'm on my iPad.
Yeah,
right.
In the Zoom app, Martin, down the bottom left-hand, right down the bottom left-hand corner is a video camera icon.
Right.
And there's a little arrow by the side of it. If you click it, it says choose virtual background.
Right. Well, on mine, it's just got down the bottom. It's just got Dave Fruity Trainer, and it hasn't got anything else.
Yeah, but wait a minute. What can you see? Just me?
I can just see you at the moment.
Right. If you go up to the top to view and click on that, you want to click it onto gallery, not speaker.
Oh, okay.
And then you'll see all of us. You should see all 7 of us.
Yeah, just a minute.
Will he get all 7 on the iPad, or will he have to scroll? Fruity.
Well, if he's got an iPad, I would have thought they'll all come up on it.
I don't know if you can get all 7.
It's got 7 participants, yeah. Dave, Fruity, Pete, Steve, Taffy, Ted.
How many faces have you got on the screen?
Well, I've only got you at the moment. Whoever talks just seems to come up.
Yeah, that's why I say if you go up to the top right hand corner of the screen, right, it says view. Click on view and you'll get a little drop down menu and you need to tick gallery.
Well,
and you'd need to put and full screen.
Wait a minute. Yeah, switch to gallery. There you go. Yeah. Okay, I've got you all on there now.
Right, and below gallery, there's a tab for full screen. If you try clicking that, it'll should make the screen bigger. Because at the moment, it just shows you as like
I think Martin, you might have to turn your iPad 45 degrees. Yeah,
that's it. That's better.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
That's the
if you look
for today, boys.
Not 45 degrees, it's 90 degrees, isn't it? Otherwise, you'd be just on a list.
This is technology for dummies.
Anyway, Martin, if you go down to the bottom left-hand corner of the screen with your cursor, you should find a little video camera icon.
Hang on. Yeah. Okay. Well,
right. And if you click the little arrow next to it, it says choose virtual background.
Just click the camera. We've lost him.
Turn the camera back on. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I just think that I probably need to get my son in here to help me.
Yeah, that's how you do it, and then you can just put some pictures in the gallery and choose whichever one you want as a background.
Okay.
Unless you've got a lovely background like Ted and Taffy, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Yeah.
Ted,
well, you don't want to see
Taffy looks a little bit cold there.
He's just come back from the racing stables. He just had the win at Cheltenham, didn't you, Taffy?
Yeah, a couple of things. I didn't sleep last night. I kept having weird dreams, and I was rugby training with my nephew in the Cardiff Arms Park. Fucking weird.
Yeah.
So that's something to do with the rugby, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, it was. Yeah.
Were the Italians, Taffy? Were the Italians?
No, I just remember Cardiff Arms Park, my nephew and myself, and we're training. We're passing the ball and kicking. And I had to get up early this morning because the Taffmobile, I had a little run-in with it on my tour of Europe. And I've got a great friend of mine. We're all workaholics, aren't we? Well, this guy works 7 days a week, and he was there 6 o'clock this morning in his workshop. He has a body shop. So I took it up to whenever I have a prang in the car or anything, I just take it up. I never ask him how much. He's a great friend, and I always know I get a bargain with him. So I had to get up there for 6 o'clock this morning. So I've just got back, but it was pretty cold this morning. It was about 6 degrees or something. When
it was a bit cooler. Yeah.
So I've just got back. The other thing is, I must mention it. I hope I don't have to. Did you see that Irish game yesterday?
Yes.
Did you see that? A second back row forward, Doris. What a game he had. Doris.
Really?
Yeah, and I smile whenever he got the ball because he played a blinder, he did. He's a brilliant back row, big, massive guy. And his name is Doris.
Obviously no relative then.
I just had a big smile on my face whenever he got the ball, so I'm glad you're in this morning, Martin.
Yeah. So, Martin, going back to it, you saying that you obviously recognised Dave Hartwell? Did you sail with him on one of the ships?
Yeah, I did. I was a bellboy on the Canberra. It was my very first ship, and I sailed with Dave. Polly, who else?
Steely.
Jimmy McLaughlin. I was also cabin mates with Graham Wood.
All right.
You remember Graham Wood?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Ray, the story is, I mean, I come from a little town in Nottinghamshire called Warsop near Mansfield. When we were growing up, we decided we weren't going to go down the mines, me and Ray. We wanted to go to sea. So we applied to go to sea, and we got in to Gravesend. And while we're in Gravesend, because obviously we were a fair way away from Nottingham, we couldn't go home on the weekends. But my sister at the time was living down near Gillingham. So we used to go down to her place on the weekends. And then Ray, as we got close to leaving Gravesend, I got sick for a week and I got put back for a week. He got a ship, he got the Sun Princess, and I got the Canberra. And then it wasn't until a few years later that we actually sailed together, but we grew up together. Ray being Geordie originally until he came to our village at the age of about 10. We've been great mates ever since.
What year was that, Martin?
I joined Canberra after the World Cruise in, I think, April 77. I was 16.
Right. Okay. And then Ray went on to the Sun.
Ray went on the Sun, yeah, as a bellboy. And then we met up later.
What was his surname?
Ray Pritchard.
Ray Pritchard. Yeah, rings a bell.
Well, he was one of the guys, one of the 800, him and his son, that were made redundant last week.
Oh, yeah.
After 33 years at sea.
Did he work on the Canberra as a waiter?
I did, yeah.
Oh, Ray.
Oh, Ray. Yeah, I think he did come back on the Canberra as a waiter because he's very good friends with Polly.
Yeah.
Anthony Pollandine.
He only lives about 3 miles from Bacon and Polly and.
Yeah. When I came over last time, we all got together, didn't we, Dave? Yeah.
That's all right. If you're more comfortable like that, Martin, we can still see your face. It's all right.
That's all right. I'll change it. It's just a bit awkward. That's all.
Yeah, don't worry.
Probably for the camera.
What it is, Martin, what you really need to do is put the iPad on like a table or something, so you don't have to keep holding it.
Yeah.
So you're just looking at it.
Go in the lounge room, and I don't want to introduce my wife and son. I don't think they're. Even though you've met my wife, Dave, she's very nice.
I have indeed, yes.
Yeah. But no, it's been like I say. Me and Ray go back a long way, and it was quite, disconcerting actually to hear he'd lost his job last week. So,
but if he was going to have, probably he would only have a couple of years left, probably. And he will have got hopefully most of that in the redundancy package. Yeah.
I don't think he's going to. He's more concerned about his son, who's only been on there for 3 years. He was a storeman on there. So he's going to struggle a little bit. But look, there's always ways around it. There's, like you say, you end up finding something if you're confident in your own ability and you're, enthusiastic enough, you'll get something.
Yeah.
Isn't Daniel a qualified teacher, Mark?
Sorry?
His son Daniel, isn't he a qualified teacher?
My son?
No, Fatty's. Daniel.
Oh, he's got 2 sons. I think one is a teacher, yeah.
Yeah, Carl's the oldest. He's in the Royal Navy.
Yeah, sorry, Daniel. Daniel is the one that's on the ships, yeah.
I think he was there when we went down there.
Yeah, he was. That's right.
He came out for a drink with us and his dad, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a qualified teacher, so he'd probably be able to get back into that.
Yeah, it's funny, when I go back to what I was talking about before, when me and Ray were growing up in Mansfield or just outside Mansfield, it was predominantly a mining village, and so there wasn't a lot of opportunity there to get any work apart from going down the mines. But Ray actually learned to do welding, and he had the ability to become a good welder. Whether or not that would have gone anywhere, I don't know. But yeah, as I say, times change, and you just take whatever's in front of you.
Yeah. In actual fact, that's the same reason I went to sea, because where I live was a mining community up in the northwest, and that's the reason I said I'm not going down the bloody pitch. Forget it.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather.
Well, I did work experience down there. I had 2 weeks down a mine.
Yeah.
And I actually went to the face, and that scared the hell out of me. And I thought, there's no way I'm ever going to spend the next 30 or 40 years down here.
Yeah, yeah. That's exactly the same.
Taffy, was there any mining around where you live?
Yeah, I was born on top of a pit. There was a row of pit houses right on top of the pit head. You could see the pit head baths from my house. And there were about 30 odd railway sidings alongside it, where they used to shunt all the coal trucks in. And I remember when I was 5 or 6 years of age, I looked up at the house, which is right by the toilet was at the bottom of the garden, right by the railway lines. And I looked up at the house, and my mother come round the corner with about 50 kids all pointing down. I was sat underneath the coal, they shunted the trucks, they shunted in full of coal. And of course, they used to come in and take them, a little green train would come and take them in and move them out to the main line. And I was sat underneath with my mate.
Oh my God.
And that's the one, no, twice actually, but that's the one and only twice, one of 2 times I ever got beaten as a kid. But when I say beaten, I think I might have had one slap on the ass or something. And I remember, and it's a lovely feeling to go back there. I remember my mother had a box of chocolates that must have been given her for Christmas or something on top of a big wardrobe. And she took the box of chocolates off. I can see it now in my mind's eye. And she took the big box of chocolates down, opened it up, full of chocolates. And she gave me one chocolate. And because she felt so guilty for having slapped me, for having given me a slap. But that's how we learned our lessons then, wasn't it?
Yeah. But Ted, not learning lessons, but Ted, are you going to be going off taking the boat on a trip shortly?
Well, I just do some charters on Sydney Harbour. I said Friday the 25th, I got another little trip with a mate of mine who owns a charter boat. They take the historical Navy Historical Society around for 2.5 hours or 3 hours round to go and see all the old Navy establishments west of the Harbour Bridge.
Wow.
There's a commentator on board. He works for the National Maritime Museum, so he's done the full works to go and give people a rundown of all the old establishments. He's got a slideshow of pictures, when Cockatoo Island was busy and ship repair and all that sort of stuff. So, we did one last month, and that was the first inaugural one, and that went fairly well. So looks like they're getting regular trips. They're booked up for the next few months, late every month, around about the 25th or thereabouts, the nearest Friday to that. And it should be interesting. I said the comments about the food was over the top and all the rest of it, but I said they're slowly getting the hang of it. So hopefully this one, touch wood, will be the right one, and they're happy from there on in. We'll get a bit of a regular work in that. I haven't had much in the way of other stuff. So I was supposed to like Pete. They said I meant to ask Pete whether he's got anybody calling him back. So come back and do a commentary for us. What's the story there, Pete?
well, that's what Bobo does.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Or used to do.
Yes,
Commentary.
yes. No, he's back doing it. Well, he was, I think, came back down under, and he was going into. He had a trip on a boat straight away, didn't he?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's around Sydney Harbour, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it Captain Cook Cruises he did it for?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And what
let's
about
go-
you, Pete? Have you got any callbacks for any special projects for BBC or the radio? He's thinking at the moment, deeply.
I think he's frozen.
It's the shock of your thoughts of going back to work.
Talking about work, Dave, he's disappeared, mate.
Hey,
He's disappeared. You talk about work and he's done a runner.
that's right.
I jump. Oops.
There he is. There he
He's
is.
live again.
You're back, Pete.
Yeah, they're actually panicking because the latest strain of COVID that's just emerged. They're worried that they might have to start playing a few games behind closed doors. What they don't want to do is actually cancel the whole fixture list. If they can play it behind closed doors, they will. But it's at the moment it's okay. It's not too bad. It's not looking too bad.
Reference to what, Pete?
As far as
frozen.
the Chelsea update, there's a new guy who's richer than Abramovich appeared on the scene, and he's American, and he owns the Chicago Cubs. I was going to ask John about him. A guy called Ken or Keith Griffin. Apparently, he's worth about 13 billion. So he's a contender. Abramovich is only worth 9 billion. So he's blown him out of the water. But that apparently on Friday they had 5 confirmed bidders Friday night. So things were up and running. There doesn't seem to be any panic at all. Everyone I've spoken to at the club just seems to realise, okay, it's one owner, he's gone, and the next one's just about to move in. So, and the team, it hasn't affected them. They've won their, 4 games now since Abramovich was kicked out. So it should be things back to normal as far as Chelsea are concerned. But the fixture list is a worry if this COVID strain does take off in any big way. They could be playing behind closed doors again. I was going to ask you, Ted, have you heard anything about the officer situation on those ferries? Did they get the same treatment as the crew? They just were told on the morning.
Got to go the loop.
That's it,
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, by all accounts. But I saw today on the internet.
Well, captains
Yeah.
and really senior men.
Yeah. All of them apparently, Pete. That's what I read.
Yeah, and I saw on the internet today, there's a company, a recruitment company that's been set up, which is offering them up to, I think it's 20K if they go back now and sign up with them. But they won't get it paid for a year, subject to them doing their full year with this company. But they don't really know how many people have been offered it and down to what level. I think it's probably more based on captains, and that because they did mention captains who've got a pilot exemption certificate, Ted.
Yeah, that's quite right. They said it's a lot cheaper for them because they don't have to hire a pilot. So you get what I call local knowledge in certain ports. So you get a pilot's exemption because you've travelled in and there frequently, and then you get an exam so you can take your own ship in and out of port. But it'll be interesting to see how that works with the registration of the ship not being British, and the British saying you can take her into one of our British ports, Dover predominantly. But yeah, it's a question that's still up there. The regulator can easily say, no, if it's an overseas, because as far as Britain's concerned, the ship registered in Cyprus is overseas. Now, whether they accept a British master bringing it into the port is another thing. But if it was an overseas guy, say from the Ukraine or whatever, they would say, no, you've got to have a British pilot on board for a British port. That's it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Would that be the same for like engineering crew as well?
It wasn't explicit, Pete. They didn't sort of know how many people had been offered this deal. And it started, I'm sure it started off about 20K. If they took it now, and then in a few weeks' time it drops down to about 9K. So they're obviously trying to get these probably qualified, shall we say, people on board.
Mm.
I can't remember where it said they were based. I don't know whether Malta seems to spring to mind, but I might be wrong on that.
it would be a tax haven somewhere. So in my opinion is whoever is involved in it needs to look at what the redundancy payment is compared to not getting a redundancy and taking the 20K or whatever the offer is.
No, I think this is additional to it. I didn't read it all, Ted, to be honest. When I logged on to my browser this morning, it was one of the topics that was on there, and I opened it up and looked at it. But as I say, I didn't read in any great detail, but I'm sure it said something about the 20K plus the redundancy package, which my understanding is that's enhanced. So it's not the government redundant statutory payment package. It's more like what do they call it? What do they call it when we went, Steve? They didn't call it. It was a severance package.
Severance.
Yeah.
But what really gets up my nose is the same redundancy when the job's not redundant. That really gets up my nose.
Yeah.
The job's still there. They've not made the job redundant at all.
Yeah. But you've got, it's the same old story, isn't it, Steve? It's profits is the only thing that matter,
Yeah.
It's been, the writing's been on the wall for a while since DP World bought this company.
Well, they also owe the pension fund 145 million, don't they?
They owe the pension fund.
Is that still
They
safe?
owe the pension fund.
Well, I'm glad I got my money out then.
Yeah.
I don't think they own it. But they owe it. There's an outstanding payment that they've never made to the pension fund. It's 145 million, I think it is.
It's interesting you say that because I just got a letter from the Merchant Navy Officers Pension Fund, who said that there are still some companies that owe their payments to the various pension funds. This is but one of them.
DP World is one of them.
These auditors, because there's trustees that run the fund, and there's an independent auditor that values the fund and sees whether they got enough money, and they've only just breaking even. They're about 98% or so recently, and then this year they've announced that they've got enough funds through good investment of the overall capital that they've got, and some other payments that British companies have made to the fund, so that they're 100% able to pay out all the money that's owed to pensioners on their books. So, and what you're saying is probably right, that this company is owing pension funds, multiples of it, officers pension fund, crew pension fund, whatever, engineers pension fund, money overall. And I wouldn't be surprised if that was a combined thing like that, because it looks like they have been losing money, so they haven't really done their payments that they're obliged.
You say they've been losing money, Ted, but they paid out $270 million to shareholders last year.
Yeah.
And they also sponsored the Formula One for about 47 million or something.
Yeah, someone was telling me they've also sponsored a big golf tournament for about 100 million.
Yeah. So, they're unscrupulous, aren't they, these people? They just,
Well, very much so.
They're trying to blame the pandemic, where everybody lost money, basically. They all shut down. They all lost money. You know what I mean?
Except for the pharmaceutical companies.
Well, obviously, yeah. Yeah, but they said they lost 100 million each year.
Yeah.
It was during the COVID.
But I remember when Leeds United got bought by one of these Arab nation or UAE countries, and you know, they had trouble getting their payments made. They just, you know, in fact, their main accountant went over there and then he got jailed for 6 months.
Oh God.
Because he questioned the fact that they weren't coughing up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, you know, it's fraught with danger having these type of people running your businesses, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well.
Yeah, they I don't think they've made all their money legitimately. Do you?
No, absolutely not.
No,
We'll have to see
not at
where
all.
it goes, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Andy?
How big is this company? Are they worldwide, or is it just affecting ships around the UK?
Well, they're based in
DP
Dubai.
World.
They're based
Yeah.
in Dubai.
Oh, they're big.
They bought, if I remember rightly, they bought P&O almost full lock, stock and barrel, but then they sold P&O Princess
P&O
Cruises.
Oh,
I
No,
think-
P&O Ferries.
You know,
No,
Gary.
P&O Cruises.
Yeah, but I think originally, didn't they buy the whole bundle of P&O, and then they sold P&O Cruises and Princess Cruises to Carnival that kept
Yes.
the ferries. Am I right there?
You might be right, Dave. Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, but apparently I was reading that they own French ferries as well, and they can't do what they did to the P&O ferries because they've got protection under the EU laws, which we've no longer got apparently. So this is one of the
Yeah.
reasons they've gone. This is one of the reasons they've gone ahead and done this, because they're able.
DP World also own the logo and the brand name P&O.
Mm-hmm.
Do they?
And they own P&O Heritage, where all the artifacts went from the ships.
Oh,
Uncle Boris was having a cup of tea with him a few days ago, the guy that owns the fucking lot.
who was that?
Uncle Boris was out there having a cup of
Oh,
tea with him,
God.
trying to do deals 3 days before they locked up.
jeez.
Yeah.
I've never heard you swear so much, Taffy. Are you sure?
Oh,
Well, it was short but sweet.
short but sweet. Still.
Anyway,
Right, well, I've got the alarm bells going, I'm afraid, boys, which I'm going to have to put this. Wait till we get, here we are. We've got the traffic lights have come up. And sadly, look, we're going to have to start waving in unison. And as we do, Colonel, although he's not here now, oh, hang on, there's a finger up from Taffy. Is that a wave or is that a comment?
Dave, one little bit of added information, because we were talking about Bobo, he's gone down with the corona.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We
He's
mentioned
been hospitalized, but I just got a text this morning saying that he's leveling out. He's breathing.
He is back home now, isn't he? He's home, yeah. Yes.
David.
Thanks, Taffy.
David.
Yes.
Just one quick one before you all go. I won't see you in a couple of weeks, guys, because I will be cruising the Mediterranean on the Regal Princess.
Oh, lovely.
Well, but Steve, the good news is you'll be able to do your live coverage from the ship. That's fine.
On Sunday morning, when I'm cruising.
Exactly. Just before you go to bed from that Saturday night out on the ship.
Yeah, well, we'll be in Naples that day, actually.
He's coming up with more excuses all the time.
Well, probably
There might not be any crew on
going
there
to Sorrento,
by the time you
apparently.
get to Naples.
Yeah,
Lovely.
check there's a crew on there first before you go on, Steve.
I'll check my discharge.
You might find yourself in the restaurant serving breakfast.
Yeah.
It'll take you all day to cross the road in Naples.
Yeah. We were based in Naples on the Pacific Princess cruise in the Med in the 80s, early 80s.
Yeah, I can remember Sea Princess was in with the PP at the same time in Naples.
Yeah.
Because it was just before we were going to go out to the States for the 3-month Caribbean season, and I had to go over to the PP to get some quarters because we had to set the fruit machines up to American currency, but we didn't have any coinage to be able to test them with. And I was pissed. And the next day I didn't know where these quarters were. The PP had sailed. And I thought, oh shit, well done with them.
Well, but you survived.
Well, I know it's very hard to believe that I got pissed, but you know.
Yeah, I don't believe that, Dave.
No,
No, Doris. No.
Anyway, I'll see you all you guys in about a month.
Right.
Oh yeah, because you won't be here in 2 weeks. All right. Well, look, boys, it's lovely seeing you two down under. And if you see Macca and Bobo before we do in a couple of weeks, send our regards.
Okay.
And to Debbie as well, obviously. Yeah. So, all right. Look, we'll start waving, and then Colonel will start playing that wonderful music. Everyone. All right. Really good seeing you, Ted and Martin down under.
Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
Dave.
Hello, everyone. This is Oscar from Ollie's Pocket with Oscar Tales. More Mazatlan tales. When I first got the rented apartment in Mazatlan, where I went to on leave for 9 years, I had to get to know many different ways of doing things. My roommate, Carlos, sometimes puzzled me with his Mexican cooking and eating habits. Take, for instance, the boiled egg tale. Now, we all know how to cook a boiled egg. The famous 3-minute egg with a runny yolk and firmly cooked white of egg. Carlos did the same in a saucepan one breakfast, and while he did it, I made toast enough for the two of us and buttered it and cut it into soldiers. "What are you doing, Alan?" said Carlos. "Chopping all the toast to pieces?" "I am making soldiers to dip the egg in," I said. "And tell me, which cupboard do you keep your egg cups in?" In a puzzled voice, Carlos asked, "What do you mean, egg cups?" Meanwhile, I am rummaging around in various cupboards, looking for anything that remotely looks like egg cups, and not finding any. I'm about to repeat my question when a practical demonstration occurred. As Carlos places 2 teacups on the table and, fishing the cooked eggs out of the pan, removes the tops and scoops 2 perfectly boiled eggs into each cup, adds a sprinkle of salt and pepper, and then takes a fork and mashes all the contents together. He then hands a by now almost speechless Oscar a cup and says, "Here is your egg cup," and then added for clarity, "This is how we do boiled eggs in Mexico," and then added, "And we do not mess up the toast that way." Before my next leave, in San Pedro, Los Angeles, I managed to acquire 4 egg cups and with a great flourish presented them to Carlos on the first day of my next leave, which was about 4 months later. He was less than impressed and registered his disapproval of this British quirk of cooking by refusing ever to do boiled eggs by any other method than the Mexican way. Talking to my friend Terry Burgess, he was ex-P&O Princess ships Oriana, Arcadia, and Pacific Princess, and who lived in Mexico City, and he was an English teacher and translator. I found he had gone through the same thing, and like me, had managed to acquire an egg cup. I later got him some more egg cups from England, along with other things he missed. They were Marmite, orange marmalade, Heinz baked beans, Bisto gravy powder, and English chocolate. The last I found strange, as the Aztecs in Mexico was where chocolate was first used and later discovered by the conquistadors. Even stranger was that the chocolate was for his roommate, Gamaro Hiron, and his crew member, ex-Pacific Princess. And he was Mexican, but preferred English chocolate. Another thing I found strange in the apartment was why Carlos never used the oven. Everything he made was on the stove top, and usually in a frying pan. Whenever I cooked and wanted to use the oven, I had to remove a load of pots and pans, tins and cooking utensils. The oven was a storage place and never used for cooking. Not only that, he did not have the idea of how to cook in an oven or even light it. I told him one day, after seeing the same thing in many houses, Carlos, you and many of your Mexican friends would starve to death if someone stole your frying pan. About 4 years ago, I was staying with Gamaro Hiron for the 4 winter months to escape the winter cold in England at his Mexico City apartment. We had previously been invited by his cousin Zelade and her husband Alexander to their house at Texcoco, about an hour's drive from Mexico City, for a meal. To return the favour, I said I would do an English Sunday dinner for them the next time we visited. We duly purchased a pork joint, vegetables and potatoes, and went on over in Gamaro's Volkswagen car to Texcoco. I took an extra sweater, as that house was the coldest house I have ever been in Mexico, even in the daytime. Though I should explain that at 10,000 feet, Mexico City in winter, in December and January, has a nighttime temperature of about 6 degrees centigrade and a daytime of about 20 or 22 degrees centigrade. And most houses do not have heating. After the greetings, I was shown into the kitchen, and there was a large top-of-the-range oven. And when I opened it, guess what? It was full, crammed to the top with cooking pans, pots, trays, and other strange items. I had to remove them all and put them in the scullery before I could start cooking the dinner. The lady of the house was excited and told me I was the first person to cook in her new oven. Oh, I said, I asked her when she bought it. She said, oh, about 3 years ago. Yes, she was another Mexican who, in spite of having a really super-duper oven, had only ever used it to cook stovetop gas ring dishes. And never once in 3 years was the gas ever lit in the oven. Well, you couldn't after all. It is only used for storage. Oscar should know that. Well, that's all, folks, for this week. From Oscar. Oh, and always remember,